I don't know if you know this, but we're almost to our 1-year anniversary of opening Ketchin Ice Cream. And the weather is finally getting nice here in New York City, so we get to experience our first summer together. As you can see, we have a lot to do today, but before I tell you what we're gonna do, I want to give you a challenge. If you watch this video all the way to the end, I'm going to tell you a special emoji. I'm going to choose 3 comments with the special emoji in it to create some fun videos about summer here at Ketchin Ice Cream. Today is a very special day. It is all about ice cream. I'm just kidding. Every day of my life seems to be all about ice cream, but today is special because we're adding a football twist. We're going to be making an ice cream cake, an ice cream ball, and a waffle, all inspired by football. We're starting off by making the ice cream cake. First step is to collect our ice cream and then add some colorings. I added a little bit of chocolate ice cream just so it had a darker and more natural looking color. We're gonna stir this all together and then pour it into our cake pan. I really want to try doing some new techniques with my ice cream cakes. I've wanted to do it for a long time, but starting the ice cream shop, I've been way too busy. But today we're gonna use some really unique technique. We're not doing frosting, we're dyeing the cake green. So you want to make sure you mix up all of the ice cream in a separate container first before you pour it in the pan, or else you might get white or dark spots in it. I'm so thankful for a creative challenge from YouTube to make a video centered around football themes. YouTube wanted all of us to be able to celebrate together that they're now home to the NFL Sunday Ticket. You can now watch your favorite teams out of market Sunday afternoon games right here on YouTube or YouTube TV. But the best part is, if you sign up now, you get the lowest full season price for the whole year. And I'm going to make it even easier for you. Go and click the link down below and you'll get $100 off the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now we're going to throw our cake in what should be the negative 40-degree blast, but for some reason it's only 9 degrees right now. While that's freezing, let's begin our next task, which is making a paper football but out of a waffle cone. So a waffle football, maybe? You might have seen me make waffles before, and if you haven't, let me just let you know, these things are almost 400 degrees sometimes. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but these gloves are pretty thin. While that waffle cooks, let's see if this kid can catch some ice cream. Another day and another couple hundred perfect catches. Trying new stuff with waffle cones typically doesn't go so well because you can only really move them around when they're really hot, which tends to burn your hands. So let's just make an extra waffle just in case. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm realizing we have another problem. When you typically make a paper football, you start off with a rectangle, not a circle. While we wait for that to cook, we need to start making some ice cream balls, but not just any type of ice cream ball. We're going to try to make an ice cream football. This should be a little bit tricky because all of our molds are only the shape of a regular ball, but I have an idea of how we can make this work. Originally, I thought I was going to make a life-size ice cream football and throw it across the store, but then I realized how messy that would be and probably wasteful, so I decided to go with a small ice cream football the size of our normal ice cream balls. This was also good practice for us because then we get to see what it's like to throw other shapes. You know me, I'm now worrying that we may have burned our waffle because we've been away from it for a little too long. So let's hurry up and throw these ones in the blast as well under our cake, and then we're gonna go and check our waffle out. And one of the most fun things about working with ice cream is going from extreme cold temperatures on your fingers to extremely hot temperatures on your fingers. So let's try to hurry and peel this waffle off, fold it over a few times, and we're gonna shut this back down. Hopefully lock in the shape of a paper football. I don't know about you, but I'm a little disappointed. That looked like a quesadilla, not so much of a paper football. Even though we were gone for so long, the waffle still is barely cooked as well. It should be hardening up by now. Good thing we have another waffle on here. We'll just have to use that next one and save these as scraps just in case. I don't know if you can tell, but I had no idea how this was going to work, so we're just rolling with it. We're testing stuff out, playing around, and then if they don't turn out, we just get to eat some waffles, so it's a win-win for me. The goal now, since I think the paper football method isn't going to work, is just to get something that looks slightly similar, has a fold in it, and is a waffle cone. We're also going to try to move as fast as possible because this is hurting my hands so bad right now. It genuinely is burning me. You're probably wondering why I would handle this if it's burning, but if you don't handle it while it's super hot, it'll harden up and then you can't fold it at all. We may have got one. Okay, yeah, actually, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Let's save these other scraps just in case. I can try to make something out of them if we need to. All right, our cake's got to be rock solid by now. There's always got to be something. Even though that was super dramatic, they're still covered and only land on the bottom, so I'm just going to set them here. We'll pop those out and make our football in just a second. The key to getting an ice cream cake out of a pan is for it to be super, 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 super cold. So you want this thing to be rock solid. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use hot water and loosen it up by heating up the pan. And so the only thing that'll melt is a very thin layer of ice cream that the pan touches. The rest will be very cold still. And then simple as that, it'll just pop right out. If your cake isn't cold enough, the whole thing could just fall apart. Especially with the rectangle, they like to split in half. I'm saying that because I've sadly split a lot of rectangle cakes right in half. And unfortunately, this also can happen even after you've decorated the whole thing, and it could rip right down the center. So now that I'm done playing with this and giving it a nice massage, let's hurry up and get this thing back in the freezer. Instead of using frosting today, we're gonna use texture. So I'm practicing right now to see how the ice cream's gonna respond, but I have a lot more fun of an idea if I can pull it off. But the end goal is to make this cake look like grass and to put a football on top of it. Speaking of footballs, let's try to make our ice cream football. So I purposely made sure that these ice cream balls weren't frozen all the way through because I want them to be just a little soft because we're going to smush them around and try to put them all together to make a ice cream football. Much like our old friends, the waffle cones that were burning my fingers, the ice cream balls are extremely cold and these gloves are not helping at all. Do you know the feeling of a brain freeze where it's that throbbing pain in your head and you want to do anything possible to get it to stop because it hurts so bad? Imagine that, but in your hands. I did not know that was possible, and I've worked with ice cream for a long time, but that's what was happening when I was playing with this ice cream ball. While we're letting our ice cream cake and our ice cream ball freeze, let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun and get out our waffle football. My business partner Armand bought me these pieces of grass forever ago, and he's always wanted me to use them in some type of video. So I thought today was the perfect time to crack these out and really do something fun with them. The winner of this game is whoever can make it through the field goal. Oh yeah, speaking of games, earlier I told you that if you leave a comment with the emoji of the day in it, that I'll use your idea for a future video. Well, I may have lied a little bit just to make sure that nobody skipped right to the end and used that emoji. So to partake in our little game, you actually have to put two emojis, and the first emoji is a waffle. I'm honestly surprised with how well our waffle is putting up, but neither of us have made our field goals. I'm not sure if you even know what this is. I don't even know if people still play this game, but kids used to play it all the time when I was in school. You set up your field goal on the other side, you fold up a nice paper football, you flick it across the room to see if you can make it through the field goal, and typically the teacher would end up catching it and you'd get in trouble. Well, this was a fail. It looked like the waffle wins, so I'm just going to eat it. Okay, this contraption might look a little scary, but I promise, just trust me. I tried to go to the store to buy a wire brush to create texture that looks similar to grass on this ice cream cake. But sadly, the store was closed. So what I did is I washed some paper clips and taped them to an ink pen and made my own wire brush. And it's doing great. Look at this. It looks so cool. It looks just like grass. So I have very sad news. As me and Armand were playing with our waffle football, I found that the ice cream football that we made got thrown away. So to save you the heartache that I went through, I didn't show you. But I had to freeze my hands off again and remake a brand new ice cream football. I poked the ice cream ball so we could dip it down inside of some chocolate ganache and coat it so it really looks like a football. And now that the ganache is hardened, we're going to use some white frosting to pipe our lines on top. I think piping the lines is honestly just for fun because this frosting is way too soft. So when we go to throw it with our spades, we're probably going to smear the frosting all over the place. But hey, it's still fun for the video. But here we are, the final product, an ice cream ball football. Oh yeah, and I also made another giant football out of ganache to put on top of our cake. And this is the moment that I realized that I had not been being careful, so let's all learn a lesson. Whenever you put your cake on your board, you want to make sure it's nice and centered. And when you're done, you want to make sure your board is really nice and clean. So we definitely need to clean this board up. But first, let's make sure we've made everything we need to make for this video today. We have our ice cream cake, we have our ice cream ball, and we've already made our waffle. All right, now that we have it all, let's go ahead and put our cake back in the freezer. And then I need to get Daniel ready because I'm throwing this ice cream ball at him since he threw our last ice cream football away. It looks like they've made a bunch of cookie dough ice cream balls, so we don't have a lot of room in here. So I need to make sure I move all this around so I'm not taking up all of their space. Now that the cake's been slid inside the freezer, let's go ahead and throw our ice cream ball across the room. And a perfect catch from Daniel. Now here comes the true test. Can he throw it back and can I catch it? I am wearing a camera on my face, so this is really hard. And this is not a ball, so it didn't really work out so well. One last time, let's double check and make sure we did everything. We have the ice cream cake, the ice cream ball, and the waffle. I know it's super obvious, but today's emoji of the day is a football. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I cannot wait to read all your comments. And don't forget to check out the link below so you can get $100 off the NFL Sunday ticket. It's only exclusively here on YouTube and YouTube TV.